In this next section, we're going to add a new user, and then we're going to set the permissions on it. So let's go ahead and jump over and get started. The way that you add a new user is you go up here under Settings, and then Manage Users. As soon as you go into the Manage Users area, you're immediately going to see your own user account. If you are the admin, you can see all kinds of different things in here that you can change for any of your employees. But when your employees log in, they see basically just this information right here, as well as some preferences for their alert email and the phone right here. So let's go ahead and add a new user. Now the first name, let's give it the name of Charles. And then the last name, Barkley. All right. And we'll give it charlesbarkley@gmail.com. All right, so once we add the new user, we'll be able to see Charles in this list right here. And so we can see his name show up right here under the list. And then you'll also be able to see a little listing right here. It says using 22 of 25 users. So that'll always let you know how many available users you have for the account. And if you ever need any additional users, excuse me, you can just run over here to manage subscriptions and you can add one user at a time. So you're only paying for what you use. And I think it's only like $9 a month or something like that, not a lot. And so what happens when a user is created, you can see that the username is the first letter of the first name and the last name. That's set by default. And then if it's already taken in the system, it'll put like a 01, 02, 03. Automatically here for you. It sets a default password that you can change. You can set this, of course, any user, you can set this to active as yes or no. You can kind of put them on default. When it's in active as no, you can see this status right here is this little not sign or whatever that is. And then, of course, the first name, last name, hours per month right here is if you want to kind of keep track for yourself. If this is a full-time or a part-time employee, this is just for your information only right now. Of course, the user information right here, you can put this in right here for them. You can add a user image for them, as well as a logo for the customer area. And then right here, what you can do is put a alert contact preferences in here. So you can put the email in here and the alert text phone. And so this is where you put in your texting information right here. Then you select your carrier of who your carrier is. And the way that this works is we send it via the email. You know how you can send an email text and the subject line is the actual message? That's kind of how we do this. And so this is your preference here. And you can say, I want to receive email and text or just email for any alerts that come out of the system that are directly for this user. And then, of course, project permissions. If you want to give them access to all the projects at one time or remove this user from all the projects at one time so you can just kind of add them individually, this is an easy way to do all or none kind of a thing. And then if you choose to use user capabilities, you can add them to their user capabilities. So that's everything about a user right there. Now, once a user is added, there's one super important thing that you need to realize. And that's that you can set the permissions for this user any way that you want. So like if you have an outsourcer and you only want to give them access to like 1 or 2 pages, I mean, you don't even want them to look at their own user account, you can lock them down in a lot of ways. Let me show you what this looks like right here. So if you go here under Settings and then Manage Site Permissions, this is kind of where you manage the permissions for all your users. And you can see it starts with a default permission group right here. So you can kind of make this very limited if you want to. And the way that you do this is you just click the item right here. You can see it's quick and easy to either activate it or not activate it. You can do allow all or deny all. Deny just removes all the green from these. And then over here on the member side is where you apply which members you want to this default group right here. Now, so basically what you want to do is kind of make this like pretty limited, maybe just access to the core things that you want everybody to have access to. And then what you can do is you can create groups. And let's go ahead and switch to a group right here called test group. And you can see on test group there's other types of permissions that are set here other than the default group. Now, one thing that you need to remember is that groups are additive. And so, and you can see up here who created this group. It was created by Jason. But what that means is that if you assign a user to multiple groups, it's going to be the combination of both of those that give them access. So if you have one that says, I don't know, they're an author, and it gives them access just to like the library in a couple areas there, and you give them access to the default group, it's gonna include all of the items in the default group and the library group. And if they overlap, they overlap. It doesn't matter. Now, one thing to notice right here is like right here on the front page, you're going to see some little items next to some of these major categories. And what that means is that this is the major page right here, of course, is the front page right here. But you have options that are in-page options. And right here, you can see that this hides the front checklist overview. So if you don't want a particular user to see that checklist overview, which is going to be that puzzle map that you see, you can hide it from users so they'll never see it. You can also hide the front message box, which is that little yellow box at the top. Like if you don't want them to see the webinars or any announcements, things like that, you can hide that message box, and you can hide the front video, that getting started video, you can hide that as well. So anytime that you see like a little item after these major details, it's something that's on the page that you can either show or not show for them. So that's kind of how the permissions are set. So now you know how to set up a user and to manage their permissions. And you also know how to add new user accounts from your managed subscription area if you run out of users and you need to add one more. So I hope this helps, and let's move on to the next puzzle piece.